Good morning everybody and welcome to the weekend. So I hope you're all okay. We're just still experiencing the full moon energy from yesterday. It tends to creep up a few days before and linger a few days after. So if you've got crystals, things like that, get them outside in the moonlight to be cleansed. They help release the energies that crystals pick up from around you, around other people, your home, being out and about. If you're wearing them, it helps take the energy out, anything negative, anything heavy, anything that isn't yours, recharges them, and then you're set to go for another month. So with this energy, something I've noticed upon awakening this morning is that there are times on this planet where collectively there's a sudden rapid shift. Now you may feel it subtly, you might feel it dramatically, and it tends to be an internal shift. Might be things go on around you that suddenly change your direction, but the shifts that we can feel can be around reflection and reflecting back through things in our lives that may have been quite tough, and we start to be able to reframe, and it can be quite spontaneous where we start thinking about something maybe we hadn't thought about for a while and we see it clearer. Now we might see it clearer in a more helpful way or a slightly more painful way, and a feeling I get is that neither is better or worse, it's just clearer. So you've gained more clarity, more insight into the truth of situations from your past, maybe people. And when we see things more clearly, whether we see situations better or maybe we see them worse than we did, it's still about setting you free. It's still another aspect of your healing. So if we see things or people better than we had done regarding situations that had been quite tough for us, it may mean that we can open our heart a little bit more to compassion and start to heal the situation a little bit more for ourselves, be able to detach from it a bit more, understand it a bit more, which can help soften the blow. Equally, if we see situations worse than they were, we can still get the same amount of healing. It may be that we were still seeing a situation too kindly, too compassionately, too empathically, in situations that may not have been completely deserving of that, or when the plaster's ripped off, we see things as they are, and equally we might be able to let go and detach from situations or people that bit more than we could before this full moon. When we see it more compassionately, it can feel like a gentler route, but it can still be quite painful. When we see things more harshly, people often think, oh, it's worse than I thought, how will I get past this? Well, actually, if it's worse than you thought, it doesn't necessarily deserve your time, attention and focus that you've been giving it. Maybe with it being worse than you thought, it's easier to go, I'm not putting any more effort into looking over my shoulder at that situation or person anymore, and the cords start to cut. So full moons are also a very good time for cord cutting. They're ethereal cords that we can have thoughts towards somebody and we can create a cord attachment. They might have thoughts towards us, create a cord attachment. It might be to do with a situation that was upsetting in the past. We still have an energy attachment, an emotional attachment. We equally have a spiritual attachment. Anybody can cord cut. Yes, you can come to me for cord cutting. I do cord cutting, but I also believe you can all do it yourself. So you can use some incense. Sage is really good, and you burn it around yourself with a mantra. It's all about the intention. I am releasing any cords that bind me to the past, to a person, to a memory, to a trauma, to a wound. I am cutting the energetic cords so it helps to diminish the attachment that we have. Remember, when we do work on ourselves, it doesn't just have to be psychological counselling therapy, which obviously I 100% back. I think everybody should have therapy, whether they've had a great life or not. It's a brilliant time to talk about you. But there are other parts of us that need to heal from the past on an emotional level, a spiritual level, a soul level. Remember, our soul fragments and breaks off, just like we can suppress emotions and memories and dissociate. We're a whole package. We're not just the mind, we're not just the heart. There's so much more, and we need tending to. So this is a perfect time in the energy of this full moon to ascertain what part of me is still wounded, what level of me is still wounded. Is it just memories? Is it just heart? And when I say just, I don't mean that it's just, it's still big stuff, but am I accessing all parts of me that is wounded? Is my body carrying the pain? So I'm a great one for internalizing trauma into my body and then managing to ignore it. which is something I'm working on at the moment. So which part of you is still hurting and which part needs healing? And do you realise that you can go some way to heal yourself too?